Ireland was beautiful, but something felt missing. Ireland was everything people said it would be. The green was real, the coast was real, the slow mornings, the pub fires, the rain moving across a hillside like something living, all of it real. And yet, there was something I kept reaching for that wasn't there. Not a place, not a person, not a thing I could name, just an absence, quiet, persistent, impossible to locate. And the more beautiful Ireland became around me, the louder that absence got. I want to be careful about how I say this, because I'm not about to tell you that Ireland was disappointing. It wasn't. Ireland is extraordinary. I mean that without reservation. But there's something strange that happens when reality matches your expectations perfectly, and you still don't feel what you expected to feel. Before I moved, I'd built a version of this life in my head. Not an unrealistic version. I didn't imagine perfection. I just imagined arrival. I imagined that getting here would produce a feeling, a settling, a clicking into place. The feeling people describe when they say, "This is exactly where I'm supposed to be." I imagined that feeling, and I waited for it. The first weeks were full, new places to discover, new rhythms to learn, the constant mild stimulation of everything being slightly unfamiliar. I was busy noticing, too busy maybe, to notice that the feeling I'd been waiting for still hadn't come. It was only when the newness wore off, which happens faster than you'd think, that I started to feel it properly, the absence. I'd sit in a beautiful place, and there were many beautiful places, and feel like I was watching it through glass, present technically, capable of appreciating it intellectually, able to think, "This is extraordinary, I'm lucky to be here," but not quite inside it, like the experience was happening just slightly outside of me, and I couldn't find the door.
I've spoken to other people who've moved here, and they described something similar. That first period where everything is real and close and available, and yet you feel somehow sealed off from it. Watching your own life like someone reading a book they're the main character of. A friend who'd moved here a few years before me said, "You're still arriving, you just don't know it yet." I didn't understand what she meant at the time. I do now. The loneliness of daily life in a new country is a specific kind of loneliness. It's not the dramatic loneliness of isolation or abandonment. It's more like the loneliness of having no context, of being somewhere that doesn't know you yet. Every interaction I had in those early months was a first interaction. Every shop, every office, every bus, every pub. Nobody recognized me. Nobody knew what I'd said last time, or how I took my coffee, or what I did for a living, or that I'd had a difficult week. I existed here as a blank page, which sounds freeing. Sometimes it was, but most of the time it was just quiet, and not always the peaceful kind. There was also the cultural distance to navigate, not a hostile distance. Ireland is not a hostile place, but a subtle one, a layer of social code I kept failing to read correctly. Irish people communicate a great deal through what they don't say. There's an art to the indirect here, to the thing that's understood without being stated. Coming from where I came from, where directness was a virtue and clarity was expected, I found myself constantly misplacing the meaning. I'd ask a direct question and receive an answer that was technically an answer, but contained three other things I wasn't sure how to interpret. I'd say something that landed slightly wrong. I could feel it land wrong, but nobody would tell me why. Because in Irish social culture, correcting someone's tone directly is its own form of rudeness. So I learned by watching, by making small errors and observing the texture of the response, by slowly getting better at reading the room.
That process took time, more time than I'd allowed for it. And in the meantime, there was the routine of a life without anchors, without the accumulated shorthand of years in a place, without the particular comfort of knowing which things you can rely on. I'd wake up, make coffee, walk the same route because I didn't yet have the confidence of knowing where other routes led. Come home, make something for dinner, sit in the evening with the rain outside, and the feeling that somewhere between waking up and lying down again, I'd missed something. I couldn't tell you what. The shift came slowly, the way most real shifts do. I think it started when I stopped trying to name what was missing. I'd been treating the absence like a problem, like something to diagnose and fix. If I could just identify what was wrong, I could solve it, find the missing piece, slot it in, feel whole. But the absence didn't want to be diagnosed, it just wanted to be felt. And one evening, I couldn't tell you which evening, they blur together during that period, I just let it be felt. I sat with it, the quietness of an unfamiliar room, the rain that was becoming gradually familiar, the particular grey-blue of the Irish evening through a window that was starting to feel slightly more like mine. And something shifted. Not dramatically, not in a way I could point to, but I started to understand that the absence I'd been carrying hadn't been created by Ireland. Ireland had just made it visible. Whatever was missing, that low, persistent feeling of something not quite there, it had been with me before I got on the plane, before I decided to move, maybe years before that. I'd just been busy enough and loud enough inside not to notice it. Ireland's particular quality, the slowness, the quiet, the way it doesn't distract you from yourself, had stripped away the noise that had been covering it. And what I found underneath, when I finally stopped running from it, wasn't a wound exactly. It was a question. A very old, very patient question about what I was actually living toward. Not what I was doing, what I was living toward. I didn't have an answer. I still don't, not completely. But the fact that I could finally hear the question felt like more progress than anything I'd managed in years. There's something Ireland does, and I've tried to articulate this before and always fall slightly short. It creates a kind of pressure from absence. Not pressure from outside, pressure from inside. The kind that only comes when the external noise is low enough that the internal signal finally gets through. The missing thing, I started to understand, wasn't somewhere in Ireland waiting to be found. It was something in me that I'd stopped listening to a long time ago. And this country, unhurried, unimpressed, entirely unbothered by my urgency, had simply given me enough silence to hear it again. Ireland is still beautiful, more beautiful to me now than it was in those early months, because now I'm not watching it through glass, I'm inside it, imperfectly, incompletely, still occasionally sealed off in the way I described, but inside it. The absence is still there sometimes. I'm not going to pretend it resolved cleanly, but I've stopped treating it like a problem. I've started treating it like a compass. When I feel that particular emptiness, that quiet reaching for something that isn't there, I've learned to stop and listen, because usually, underneath it, there's something trying to tell me where to go next, not geographically, inward, always inward. I moved to Ireland looking for something. I'm not sure I found it exactly, but I found something better. I found the right question to be asking, and I found a country patient enough to let me sit with it for as long as it takes. If what I described sounds familiar, that feeling of being somewhere beautiful and still not quite feeling it, I want you to know you're not broken. You're probably just not still enough yet to hear what's underneath. This channel is for that stillness, for the honest version of what it means to be somewhere new, building something, searching for something you can't quite name. Subscribe if you want more of this, and leave a comment below. Have you ever felt like something was missing even when everything around you looked fine? I read every single one, and I'll be here.